Part two of the segment. Apologize for the video interruption. But these Catholic priests, this is what it's about. These Catholic priests who still today, still sodomize and molest little boys all day long. Because they have gotten permission from the Pope in the Vatican to take these little boys, sodomize them, and swear them to secrecy. But see, a lot of this shit has backfired. Now, if you were to shut something down, why don't you go to the head? Why isn't it that the Vatican, is never investigated? Why is it that the Pope gets to do whatever he wants to do? Why is he highly respected when all of his proteges are fucking pedophiles all over the country? And not just in the Vatican, not just in the Catholic Church. On all these sports teams, these coaches. You know, Jerry Sandusky was not the only one. He was not the only one. That's why the other coach, I can't think of his name offhand. But he all of a sudden had a heart attack because he thought that Sandusky was going to blow the whistle on his motherfucking ass. And so he just all of a sudden, when Sandusky is going through trial, he has a heart attack. You know, the coach, he has a heart attack because he knew his legacy would be destroyed. And see, Dexter Manley, it's a lot of these players, black players, that don't want to come out and speak on this shit because they don't want to be looked at as being weak or being gay. But I know it was a case here in Baltimore where the brother Dante Stokes was being molested as a child in the Catholic Church by the priest, a black priest. But Dante Stokes put 5 bullets in his motherfucking ass, and he went to jail. And the community protested to have him released, which ultimately he did get released after serving about 5 months. The priest didn't die, unfortunately. You know, but Dante Stokes is a very conscious brother to this day. And this is what they do. You know, this Catholic Church is wide open. Wide open. You know, this is what they specialize in. This sodomy. You know. Now they have an association called NAMLA. NAMLA. The National Association for Man and Boy Love. And their goal is to get all pedophiles released from state and federal penitentiaries. Because they believe that pedophilia should be something to be honored. This is how sick this motherfucking crack is. This is how sick he is. And then a lot of you motherfuckers want to date white women. A lot of you motherfuckers want to be white. They had a black teenage girl, 16 years old, on Dr. Phil talking about how she hates black people. They're ugly. They look like monkeys and all this shit. And she thinks that she's white. You know, but if you want to test, you see if your child or your grandchild has inferiority complex. Use the two doll theory. Get you a black doll and a white doll. Could be a G.I. Joe, could be a Barbie doll. Two Barbie dolls, two G.I. Joes. And you ask the babies which one is cute and which one is ugly. And then you ask why. And that's how you will find out they have an inferiority complex. And sadly, most black babies in the black community have that. It's partially the fault of the parent. Nevertheless, it's what they view on TV. All these cartoons are white. Now, SpongeBob is a gay sponge. A fucking gay sponge. This is how deep they're going. The have and the have-nots. Empire. Power. Precious. The new movie that's coming out next week, Pimp. Monsters Ball. See, all of, in the other movie, that the guy starred in, him and his friend ended up being gay or something. I forgot the name of the movie. But nevertheless, it's always perversion in these movies. Always sexual perversion in these movies. In these TV shows. Have and have not. Jeffrey gets the most respect. He's highly respected. The black woman is a whore and is up to no good and scandalous. The same way with Empire. The gay son, is God sent. And the mother, Cookie, is just a rambunctious hood rat. And so, when you look at these shows, they have a major impact on our babies because they have a major impact on you. They have an impact on you, whether you believe it or not, whether you want to accept it or not. But I'll get back to that shortly. I want to talk about this brother. The anniversary of his ascension, his murder is about to come up in a few weeks. This is Fred Hampton, who was chairman of the Chicago chapter of the Black Panther Party in the 60s. Strong brother, very, very outspoken. And the reason why I talk about our ancestors and our heroes and sheroes that have been murdered, that we have allowed to be murdered, and that we have assisted the devil in murdering because of the impact that they had on the black community. Personally, I learned a lot from Fred Hampton. I learned to be, articulate, but be strong with my articulation. And I don't have to be articulate for anyone. Just when it needs to be applied for me to convey certain messages. In other words, see, a lot of people, you may notice, when they're in the presence of these crackers, they try to talk like crackers. I don't roll like that. That doesn't make sense when the crackers trying to be like you, and they take everything from us and imitate us. So that lets you know trying to be like them ain't shit. But Fred Hampton, strong brother, and very, very outspoken, very highly militant, and wanted to establish a all-black political party in Chicago. Extremely gifted in terms of a strategy maker. Very, very gifted. You know, a strong tactician, if you will. That's one thing I loved about Fred Hampton. And right there pictured in front of Fred Hampton in the corner, he has his back to you. That's Bobby Rush, the goddamn snake, snitch, motherfucking informant who played a major role in the assassination of Fred Hampton. Remember that name, Bobby Rush. Hampton had the Chicago chapter of the Black Panther Party feeding 3,000 children a week. 3,000. If I'm ever blessed by the ancestors and the creator, the ancestors and the creator bless me to be able to feed 3,000 or even 1,500 of the babies in Washington, D.C. to ensure that our children have a decent meal. You know, not pork chops and grits in the morning. You know, a nutritional meal to help them think, to help keep their systems clean, to help them have natural digestion. If the street law soldiers can get to that level, then half of my work is done. You know, but that's one of my goals, you know, to feed as many people as we can, because people don't know the significance when you're giving out food and clothes. You'd be surprised of the love and appreciation some of our unfortunate brothers and sisters have when they're given a coat, when they're given socks, and they're given hat, hot cup of coffee. Like Sister Inez Watley and Diane Nelson, you know, they're giving out food, hats, gloves, you know, and that's a blessing. That's a powerful gift that you've been given by the Creator and the ancestors to be able to get out there and make your contribution to Black liberation. People will tend to listen to you a little bit more if, you know, their stomachs are full and their bodies are warm. Please believe that. And so, you know, Brother Fred Hampton feeding 3,000 children a week. This is Henry Hand, this motherfucking state's attorney, commissioner who, along with J. Edgar Hoover, gave the orders to the Chicago police to come into Fred Hampton's house in the wee hours of the morning and assassinate this brother in his sleep. And as they was taking his body out, they was saying, Chairman Fred is dead, dead, dead. As you can see, these crackers are laughing. You know, and once again, let me explain this to you. How can you say these crackers are humans, these crackers are moral, you know, these crackers are civil, when they do shit like this, when they execute, when they butcher and maim and lynch our brothers and sisters all over this motherfucking country? And then you got black people that side with them as they kill us every motherfucking day, one by one. They kill us. And black people, you're not going to feel this. For those who just don't pay any attention to this, you better hope your day don't come where you get the phone call that your child, your aunt, your nephew, your niece, your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, your grandmother, grandfather has been murdered. How would you respond? See, a lot of you will want the help of the entire community. You want the news. You want it to be national news. But it don't work like that. It should work like that, because every time one of us is murdered, the entire black community should respond immediately. And this shit will stop. But since, we're so scared of the white man, because George Zimmerman even said it. He walks around and brags. He's a millionaire for killing Trayvon Martin. But you'll kill the brother that lives on the next block and call yourself a true G. You ain't shit. Fred Hampton laying in state. The brother was shot so many times, it was pathetic. And now, Bobby Rush, you may wanna know. Now, he was one of the most vocal, militant talking Panthers under Fred Hampton. But he and another informant were responsible for putting the sleeping agent into the Kool-Aid. So Fred Hampton and Mark Clark would be unable to respond. And that's how they ended up being murdered. There was over 100 shots fired. Fred Hampton's body was just riddled with bullets. But we're not supposed to say anything. We're not supposed to say anything. I believe it was December the 4th, 1969. And we're not supposed to say anything. That's our problem now. We let too much shit go. Deborah Johnson with Lil Fred Hampton. And she was wounded. She was in the house. She was also wounded. She was 8 months pregnant with Fred Hampton Jr. But she pulled through. That's Fred Hampton Jr. now, carrying on the legacy of his father. He's been under investigation by the FBI, ATF, FEMA, and other white supremacist organizations to try to neutralize Fred Hampton Jr. But he's a soldier. He keeps on fighting. And he's not afraid to step to anybody. Rappers, it doesn't make a difference. He's a well-respected, highly respected brother in the hip-hop community as well. But he's fighting for the liberation of black people. As myself. And I give a lot of respect to Fred Hampton. He's doesn't play around. He's not into the drama. He's not into the bullshit. He's not into, this social network entertainment bullshit. Because you have a lot of our people that are hustling the black community, and they don't mean the black community no good. They've read a couple of books, and they're able to talk this black liberation shit, and I say black liberation shit because that's what it is coming out of their mouths. They're able to talk that black liberation shit, but they don't mean none of it. No substance whatsoever. They're just hustling. When you want to find out anything about an organization, two things. What are they doing for the youth? And what are they doing in the community? They're not doing either one. That's not an organization. That's not a movement. That is a club. That is a fucking gang. So we have, brothers and sisters, we have to be very, very careful in these day and times. I don't knock or hate anyone on how they're making money, if they're making money. But if you are swindling the black community, if you are fucking over the poor, then I have issues with that. And you don't do this to the cracker. The cracker sits back and laugh, demonetize your fucking videos and all this shit, and just have your ass, under investigation. And doesn't say anything to you because you're harmless. All you trying to do is just use your information to get rich, to bleed the poor. But see, people like myself, Brother Fred Hampton, and several others, Dane Calloway and several others, are threats to white genetic survival, to white genetic annihilation. We are the threats. Because we are waking the people up. We are educating the people. We're helping the people stand up. Working with the youth. Working with ex-offenders. Helping our brothers and sisters understand who they really are so they can stand up and be a force to be reckoned with against this motherfucking system of racism, white supremacy. Because we have a lot of Negroes and niggers who are in the way and preventing us from destroying the system of racism, white supremacy, so black liberation can be at the top of the agenda globally. Brothers and sisters, it's time for us to go ahead and step up. Be counted. I hope that you've got something out of the video. I hope you've learned something from it. Please leave your comments. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your honesty, as well as your donations, your contributions, your love offerings. That helps us do so many things. I haven't got a lot of donations, but I make use of them to store the food. To be able to try to set up some things to enhance the Shaka Sankofa podcast. To make my show more comfortable for you. I'm doing it for you. It's not for me. If I get something out of it, that's an incentive. But it's mainly for you all. Because I give my all in all to make these videos in terms of my research, in terms of meditation and prayer, in terms of industry teaching, working with the ex-offenders, continually working with the youth, gangbangers, and the like. So, with that said, brothers and sisters, until we meet again, Hotep, Black Power.